So I opened up questions for you guys via Instagram and on Snapchat. Do you carb cycle? Did I ever end up getting surgery for my pec? Before fitness, I was really in a crossroads where I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. My advice to you is just keep pushing. If there's those days where you feel like you need to take a break, it's okay to do so. And then sometimes if you feel like you just aren't motivated, sometimes you gotta push yourself to go for it and remember what your goals are. Alright, what up guys? So welcome to YouTube. If you guys are first watching today, thank you guys for joining and following on my channel. If you guys are continued subscribers, thank you for continuing following me. So today, what I wanted to do was a Q&A. I haven't done one of these in probably since like my maybe second or third YouTube. So I opened up questions for you guys via Instagram and on Snapchat. And so I screenshotted some questions that I'm going to answer today. So I'm just going to go through these. Read what their question was and then answer it for you guys. So question number one is, do you ever drink soda with your meals? And if so, what kinds do you prefer? So before I got into fitness, I used to drink a shit ton of soda. Dr. Pepper is my favorite, still is my favorite, but as I got into fitness, pretty much eliminated drinking soda altogether. Occasionally, I'll drink soda here and there, but it's very rare that I do so. It actually tastes super sweet to me now just because I'm not an avid drinker of soda all the time. So to answer that question, periodically, if I want to get like a little swig of what I'm missing with the Dr. Pepper, then I will throw that in the mix. But on a consistent basis, I definitely am not consuming soda. So that's question number one. Question number two, what got you into the fitness life? How did you stay motivated for so long? I struggle to stay motivated. So I've answered this question before on my first Q&A. I ran cross country. I was tired of being skinny, so I decided to make a life change. And at that time, one of my friends had told me how skinny I looked. I looked anorexic, and that really just hit home for me for the first time. So I decided to really dedicate myself to the fitness life. And you know, with that became, I think most of us, we get obsessed with it. We want to transform our body. We're never satisfied. Although I am satisfied with the gains that I've made over my years, we always want to perfect things, and so that's what got me into the fitness lifestyle. Next question is, how did you afford all the means, food, and supplements when building your career when you were younger? And if you could do something else with your life, what would it be? So when I first got into fitness, obviously wasn't making very much money. The money that I was making, I was saving it for my supplements, for my food. Back then I was barely making enough money to, you know, pay my rent, pay for supplements, and pay for the food. So that's pretty much where all the basis of everything was going. Sometimes I had to borrow money from my parents. Sometimes I borrowed it from friends if it actually got to that point where it was that bad. So I just made it work. It ended up working out. I feel like with things, things just tend to work out sometimes. So for me, that's what got me to, you know, survive, I guess. And as far as what I would have done besides fitness, before fitness, I was really in a crossroads where I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. At the time, I was working at In-N-Out Burger, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna become a manager. I'm gonna really pursue this, and I just didn't take it as serious as I should have. Ended up getting too many write-ups with the company, and then I ended up getting fired because of the fact that I just had too many write-ups. So once that happened, I really was kind of lost on where the next step was for me. And so I guess you could say I got lucky where I found that fitness was the lifestyle that I chose. All right, so next question is, how old are you? So I was born on June 13th, 1990, which makes me 26 years old. I'll be 27 in the next couple months. So yeah, that answers that question. Do you carb cycle? So I have carb cycled in the past. I've said this many a times when I talk about my diet. I love carb cycling if I was doing a show. I felt like that's what worked best for me when I was doing shows, so I always would carb cycle. But as far as now, I love the flexible dieting versus the carb cycling or the bro dieting where you're just not eating any cheat meals and you're just straightforward with super clean meals. For me, I want to enjoy the lifestyle, so I feel like the flexible dieting for me is what allows me to continue to enjoy the lifestyle, eat the things that I would like to eat in moderation, and enjoy it all. So, all right, the next question is, did I ever end up getting surgery for my pec? And how's your pec doing and feeling now? So if you guys have watched my YouTube, I express that, but not everybody watches the YouTube, so I'll answer the question anyways. I went to several different doctors. Some had said, surgery wasn't necessary. Some said that it was a must. If I didn't get it done, my tit would pretty much be hanging down. So I got a bunch of mixed reviews on people. And by the time I saw I think the fourth or fifth one, it was coming down to crunch time as far as really deciding like if I was going to do it, it had to be right then and there within that next week or so. And so that doctor gave me the best insight. He said, cosmetically, if you're looking at you, there's nothing that you can visibly see as far as that the pec is torn, and like he said, if I don't get it fixed within the next week, it's pretty much something that is not going to be able to be fixed because it's already trying to repair itself. So aside from the money factor being a thing where my insurance wasn't covering it, it was going to cost a lot of money, and then also the recovery was looking at 6 months to get to even back to working out, and probably another full year before I was 100%. I just didn't really want to put myself at that long to recover, and I didn't feel like it was that necessary to fix. So the only thing that was a crystal ball that he would say was the knowing what your strength level was going to be. When I tore it, I was lifting the 150s, which I don't normally do anyways, and today I've lifted as much as 80 pounds. I haven't really pushed myself too much more than that. There are some times where I feel like it can be weak at times, but nothing where I feel like it's making me feel depressed about the situation or anything like that. Continue to push forward, don't make any excuses. So that answers that question. How old were you when you got your first tattoo? So when I got my first tattoo, I was 19. I think I was still living at the house and actually was hiding the tattoo, which is on my back, from my mom. And I don't know why she didn't know that I got it, but I used to always not wear a shirt even when I was back then when I was skinny. And obviously when I got my tattoo, I had to cover it somehow when I was in the house. So I used to sleep with my shirt on, and I used to walk around the house with the shirt on always. And one of the days she came home from work early and I didn't have my shirt on. I was brushing my teeth, and she walked by as I was brushing my teeth in the bathroom, and she saw it and she started crying, and she's like, is that a henna tattoo? And I laughed, and I was thinking to myself, no, Mom. Or she said, is that a tattoo? And I was thinking to myself, no, Mom, it's a fucking henna. But of course it was a tattoo. And at that time, I actually already had gotten a second tattoo on my chest, which was my Bible verse. And so when I turned around, when she initially had mentioned that, when I turned around, she saw the front one too, and she just lost it. So I ended up getting the first tattoo at 19. My second tattoo was probably a month or two after that. And I've just been building it up since then. What made you dedicate yourself to bodybuilding? A lot of people start and lose focus. How did you stay so focused in it? For me, it was just a personal thing that I wanted to better myself, feel more confident in my body. So for me, going in the gym, I felt like that's the place that I needed to be. So I've never really had crazy unmotivated times, and if there is times that I got to that point, I feel like I was already established within fitness, and I feel like I was inspiring so many people. I felt like I would be letting a lot of people down if I became unmotivated, and because I practiced so much of being positive and staying motivated, I almost felt like I said, I'd be letting you guys down by not continuing to stay motivated. So yeah, there's going to be times where you don't feel motivated or you don't want to go to the gym, but I feel like those are the times that I get the best training sessions, when I don't want to be in the gym. So my advice to you is just keep pushing. If there's those days where you feel like you need to take a break, it's okay to do so. And then sometimes if you feel like you just aren't motivated, sometimes you got to push yourself to go for it and remember what your goals are. What's your favorite and less favorite workout? So my favorite workout would probably be shoulders, which Nico over here hates shoulders. And then my least favorite would probably be legs. When I first got into fitness, the guy that I was training with never trained legs, so we never put emphasis on training it. I was new to training, so I didn't really know the ins and outs of things, so I just followed his route. And so it's always been one of those things that has been hard to incorporate for me, but I've stayed consistent over the last couple of years, really building it up. But it's a love-hate relationship, so I would say favorite shoulders, and my least favorite would be legs. The next question is, how long should I wait to go work out if I hadn't eaten a meal before? So I usually wait about an hour to an hour and a half before I go and train. If I have a meal before, I just want to make sure that my food is digested. There's been times where I've ate and I went right to the gym and I just feel kind of like too full. You know, if I'm training, I feel like when I'm pushing weight, it just doesn't feel, I don't feel comfortable. So I would say at least an hour to an hour and a half is a good time to give yourself for eating a meal and then going right into training. All right, the next question is, how many times a week do you like to hit one body part? So I've mixed up my training over the last couple years. I've done one body part a week. I've done 2 body parts a week. I guess it just caters towards whatever your goals are, whatever feels comfortable for you. As of late, I've been doing 2 body parts a week, and I've actually been splitting up my training. So I go to the gym twice a day. If I'm hitting chest and triceps, I'll do chest in the morning, triceps at night. The reason I like to split it up and actually doing 2 training sessions is when I go into the gym, I feel like I'm really going in with the focus of I'm just hitting chest. Sometimes you gash yourself with chest and you got triceps and you half-ass it. So for me, when I go in, I blast my chest, go home, have a couple more meals, and then I go back at night and I just blast my triceps. Same thing if back and buys, I split those up. And then legs and shoulders, I split those sessions up too. So the reason I like to do 2 training sessions, which I know not everybody can do, I like to do it because it allows me to have more emphasis on what I'm training for that specific session. And then, like I said, go back and execute on the second session. All right, so next question is, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be? So I love obviously living in California, United States, but I've always said that if I could live anywhere else, I'd probably go live in Australia. I've been there one time now, and I just love the atmosphere, the culture, the way people are, how inviting they are. And I felt like there wasn't people that on the street when you walked by, people actually went out of their way to either say have a good day, you know, talk to you, whatever the case is, where, you know, sometimes, you know, especially in the US, people get caught up with their lifestyle that they, you know, tend to ignore people, and I just don't feel as though they're as welcoming as Australia. So it almost feels like you're in the US but friendlier in Australia. So if I could live anywhere else, it would be in Australia. All right, the next question is, what was your fastest time when you ran cross country in high school? So as most of you know, I ran cross country in high school. I did it for 3 years. I think my fastest time, and I think it was, I don't remember what course, I think it was the Mount Sac course. I want to say I ran it in like 14:25. I think that was one of my more faster times, was around that time. It could be off by a couple seconds, but I want to say about in that 14:25 to 14:20 range. I was one of the faster guys on my team. Running was never something that I enjoyed doing. I just was good at it, so I just did it anyways. But yeah, that was my fastest time. Will you be at Olympia this year? I plan to be there. I was there last year. I didn't actually go to the expo, but I was in Vegas on that weekend. So hopefully this year I will be at the event as well. So stay tuned to hear updates on that. Obviously we got a couple months until September. So, all right. And then the last question is, how often are you in the gym in a week? So I touched base earlier on the questions as far as breaking down my training sessions. I go to the gym 6 days a week, and if you split up the training sessions two times a day, so that's 12 training sessions a week. And then I usually will go Monday through Wednesday, 2 sessions each day, and then I'll take the middle of that week, which is Thursday, for an off day, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday back to training and kind of a reset. So Monday will be chest and triceps, you know, separate those. Tuesdays, back and buys, separate those. Wednesdays, shoulders and legs, and then Thursday is the off day, and then you go right back into the same cycle as far as completing the full 6 days. Sometimes if I have tutorial videos that we're doing, I'll utilize that off day on Thursday to get the work done. So sometimes I don't even take a day off at all. So it just depends on how the schedule is, but I try and at least get 1 day off a week. All right, so that completes all the questions. Thank you guys for all of you guys that submitted questions. Hopefully this gives you guys some more insight on questions you guys may have wanted answered. And I hope to see you guys continue following me on my journey and on my channel as well. And I will see you guys in a couple of days.